Hey guys, and welcome to today's first impressions video. Today we're looking at Broken Blades, which is a 2D side-scrolling brawler slash roguelite. The idea is that you go in to procedurally generated zones with different enemies, and you have a sword and you can get power-ups as you go along, and the idea is to explore, adventure, and see what you can find. It's very simplistic in its design, but it has been very well executed, and it's pretty fun and makes me want to continue playing. We'll, however, look at the options, and I will say that it doesn't have any mouse support and will probably be better played with a controller, just for the fact that the mouse doesn't seem to do anything in game. Options wise, there really isn't anything here, but with the graphical fidelity of the game and the fact that it is basically a 2D, you don't really need anything. Nothing's going to make it look any better than it already does. And it is quite a clean and very sharp looking game. So yeah, there's nothing really to mention in the options except for this bit. I don't know why they've used quit instead of back. I actually wasn't sure if I was meant to hit this or not when I first started playing, because I didn't want to quit out of the game. So one change that I would probably advise is, when you go in the options menu, to change this word from quit to back, just to prevent some confusion for simple-minded folk. Anyway, controls, credits, and then your start. So we're just going to jump straight in. I am happy to say that the loading times aren't very long, and the opening sequence, which gives you your tutorial, is pretty well laid out. It's basically images on the back of the walls that tell you what you can do and how to do it. As you can see, this is your little guy, your little champion, and you can get new armor and new bits for your weapon, which are fragments. So you don't actually change your sword, you gain fragments for your sword, which, if we look here, you can see on the right hand side. You get a sword piece and you equip it, and that makes your sword bigger and therefore can do some more damage, but it can also make it way more, which makes it do, you know, it's slower to attack, which is an interesting way of looking at it. It's a case of find what pieces work for you, opposed to going through and finding many different weapons. It allows a degree of customization without having to, you know, overload you with choices in different weapon types. You move fairly quickly. You do have a double jump. You've got a nice little flip there that you can use for your R2 or your Y button. And then basically what happens is you get a fair bit of warning when the enemies attack, and basically what that means is they will go red, and you will see these little white or red lines go about that shows you they're about to attack. You get a certain amount of health to see you through, and everything is trying to kill you. There is no such thing as a nice enemy in this game, or a nice creature. You have to be very careful because they will try and hurt you. We're going to go with the insane reflex. So yeah, basically the one thing I will say is that trying to predict where the flying enemies and things will come from can be a little bit dodgy. Your range is very, very short indeed. It can be very difficult, especially on some of the later levels. It can be incredibly difficult to try and, like, hit them without getting hit yourself. You can obviously dodge out the way, but you've got to basically, especially for these guys, wait for your chance to attack, and it is incredibly difficult. A little bit more range wouldn't be a bad thing, or at least a different style of attack, but it all depends on what bonuses you get as you go through and kill the enemies. So there is a degree of difficulty there which I quite like, but I can see it being frustrating for some as well. There are many different enemies all around, and they all, you know, they all act in fairly the same way. You hit them, they then try and attack you. I am not very good at dodging these things, but here we are. And it's basically, you know, it's an old school 2D kind of platformer, and you have to try and not die. It's got a high difficulty ceiling, and it looks pretty good too. There's not really much else to say about the game. I've not really got too far into it. This is like the first sort of level, if you like. I like the fact that you get different perks when you kill them. What would be nice is if it gave you a bit more information about the perks. And the procedurally generated levels don't seem to vary that often. What I mean by this is, for here example, you either get a ball and chain or you don't get a ball and chain to deal with. And that really is it. I don't know if it's going to be a case of one of two zones the entire way through. And the way that they change indicates that you are getting something different. But these bats are definitely the most annoying of the world. That he's not stopping. The ones that throw daggers at you are not too bad. But the fact that that bat will literally just keep chasing you until the ends of the earth is kind of a bit broken. It'd be nice if it went for a certain amount of time and then stopped. But there you are, guys. This is Broken Blades. It's not a bad little 2D side platformer. With some interesting combat ideas. A little bit more range on the sword would not go amiss. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm terrible. I'm going to die again. It's fine. Yeah, it seems the same with the enemies as well. You either get the little cockroachy bug or you get the rats. The rats are definitely the most difficult out the two ground, and the bats are definitely the most difficult out the air. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments down below. Leave a thumbs up on this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. We are very close to 850 subs because you guys are all incredible. And I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. Ciao, ciao.